Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the one, the only, Dion Green.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's Dion Green and the boys back again with the white women.
All about them white women, buddy.
White women.
And with us tonight is Kendo Slice.
Greetings, fuckhouses.
Our last standing Samoan, Nick Udom, did not die in a hurricane. No, he's off making a movie, so he'll be gone for the next 2 weeks, but he will be back. And if you need to talk to him desperately, tweet World Class Bullshitters. He's in charge of the Twitter. He'll respond back with a daily GIF or something like that. So, Nick, good luck. But this week, there's really not too much to talk about out there in the world. We've been talking about Star Wars, and I got all the big news covered, so Dion and I are going to go back and forth on that with Kendo, because... I mean, you heard my take, and now it's time to hear Dion's take, who's an equally big Star Wars fan. And the channel just keeps on growing and growing. So let's start tonight with a very special shout-out to our listener of the week, Ray Robinson Cupina. Ray joined our Patreon this week at $1, but he liked what he saw so much that he moved up to the $5 tier. So thank you, Ray, for all your support. And to all of our listeners at the $5 a month tier and up, we're going to put out a little something extra for you tomorrow on Friday. The drunk commentary for Ghostbusters 2016. It's a train wreck, but stay till the end for something incredible. Again, yeah, train wreck's a fucking understatement, dude. Again, thanks to all of you at the $1 a month tier. And if the $1 a month tier is all you can afford, that's no problem, because you're going to get access to that Ghostbusters commentary relatively soon. So just be on the lookout. Everyone's going to get it. And speaking of that dollar tier, let's talk about everybody who recently joined our patron page at the $1 level, so I can thank you all properly. So let me pull up this list. Let's see here. Okay, god damn, there's a lot of people. Anyway, very special thank you to Stephen Craighead, Zach Puckett. Where's the rest? They're all right here. Hold on. Sorry. Sorry. King William, Mike Harris, Don with 2 N's, Ian Peace, Bob Smithy, Todd Smith, Rykard Falk, Shumley Heideberg, Justin Bush, Jonathan Comets, sorry if I could read, John Doe, Gigi Garcia, Josh James, Danny, Jack Wren, Stephen Farmer, Lenny Shaws, Nathan Housley, Kern DeGale, Anthony Combs, and Alexander Kalyanak, as well as Welltall44, and that's it. So, God, was we gained 20 people this weekend or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It was going up just about every day.
Well, thank you to everyone who joined us at the $1 level. We hope you love the Star Wars The Force Awakens drunk commentary. We were all very drunk. It was very vile, but it's entertaining at the end of the day, so we all hope you enjoy that. Ghostbusters, be on the lookout for that relatively soon. I know you're going to love it. We recorded it right after. I may or may not blacked out during the show, so whatever.
May not?
Yeah. Hey, put it like this. I went back to listen to it, and I'm like, listening to myself talk, and I have no recollection of that moment in my life. So it's the power of
all
alcohol.
I can say is for Patreons, it literally became and I'm not even, Kendo and I have not met in person, but and we've always been like, oh no, he's a cool dude. This commentary, I'm pretty sure Kendo and I became pretty close friends, because it literally was just us two shooting the shit at the end of it, and it was fucking awesome.
Are you guys going to jerk off to Good Housekeeping?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what friends do. They do shit together. And, I mean, there might be 500 miles between us, but we'll bridge that gap.
One day.
We'll make it work.
Also, listeners, Schlocktoberfest is coming back. All of our commentaries and horror-themed content will appear on YouTube, but for you patrons, there's going to be a special added bonus. It's an actual video, a video that I've made that's been blocked in every country in the world because of copyright bullshit. But I found a way to share with you patrons, so be on the lookout for that in October. And now it's time for the news, because next week it's irrelevant. So Dion, like I said earlier, you are the biggest Star Wars fan on this channel, tied with me. We have different interests in the franchise, but goddamn it, we both love it. So let's talk about the title image and the biggest piece of news. Well, maybe not the biggest piece of news, but the title image news. The release date for Star Wars Episode 9 has been pushed back. Originally, it was slated for May 24th of 2019, and now it will be released on December 20th of 2019. What do you think?
I think... Okay, so let me start with this. The last few years has been a dissection of the Star Wars camp. Those who think the new direction is good, and those who think that it is very reminiscent of the original trilogies. It's not good. It's a money grab, right? So for me, this pushback, on the first hand, is evidence of the fact that they know we're not doing so well. The second part is them pushing it back. They gave all the dates out prior, and they gave out it's episode 8, it's episode 9. This guy's doing it. Compared with them changing directors, changing the story, things being leaked out as far as their acceptance of lead characters, Star Wars is in a fucking shamble right now. And them pushing it back, even if you consider the natural progression of a movie where sometimes dates change because of schedules and special effect changes and all that thing, this right here proves that they are, no matter what you want to say about those of us who bitched about previous movies, namely The Shit Awakens, they know, as much as the rest of us know, things ain't working out the way that they thought they would.
Good.
Not in the good way, is where it's like, oh, well, some people, they buy more things, they buy less things, merchandise doesn't sell as well, DVD sales don't sell as well. They know the image that they had for Star Wars for this generation isn't working out. And fucking them pushing it to the end of 2019 to go up against the movies that they're going to go up against and for 2019 proves that. It fucking proves.
The thing is, it comes out 1 week after Wonder Woman 2, and Wonder Woman had all the buzz in the world, so everyone's loving Wonder Woman. And do you think that that's going to affect it? Do you think that... I mean, obviously the week gap can really change what is made monetarily, but I think that 1 week gap's going to be a pretty big deal. Plus, this is so close to Christmas. Like, I can understand having a Christmas release date. Like, everyone builds to Christmas. You get all this shit. You do all your shopping. You got to do all this shit. And then once Christmas hits, everyone's off and there's free time. But, like, the build-up to Christmas is the busiest time of the year. Stores are jam-packed all night long. Yep. The traffic's terrible. Restaurants are jam-packed. Like, everyone's making money and doing this shit. Do you think people are going to actually be able to stop 5 days before Christmas to go see Star Wars? Or do you think that it's going to be like, we're going to see it eventually, so it's not going to make as much its opening week, but on day 5, that's when it'll really, make the bank?
Listen, as far as your question, day 5 for sure. One, because normally the week disparity between films, it's one film it's a big deal, but it's not, the name brand isn't recognizable. So for this example, Wonder Woman's recognizable. It's Wonder Woman. You know that they're going to fucking build on the DC universe. And also, going off of that, movie studios don't unnecessarily go head-to-head against other movies unless they have to. In this case, Star Wars did not have to do that. When The Force Awakens came out in 2015, there was no big movie around that time they had to go up against, because Christmas... that season is so hard to get people to pay to go to the movie. And for Star Wars to make the decision to go up against Wonder Woman means that they don't have a lot of options left. They've painted themselves into a corner. Well, our name is big. Star Wars is a big name, but we don't have the time to come out earlier. And 2, our name is too big to come out in 2020. Well, you know what I mean?
To jump off of your point, what you said about stuff at December, like Titanic, one of the biggest movies, and Avatar, like, those movies were in theaters, especially Titanic, forever. Like, Titanic was in theaters for months and months and months and months,
Yes.
and that's why it made all that fucking money. It's not like
Yes, and then it
Spider-Man
came back.
Homecoming
Yeah.
came out 2 months ago. It's on Blu-ray already. Like, we lived in a world
Yes.
20 years ago, which sounds like, oh, so long ago when you're talking to, like, teenagers, but, like, we're still in our 20s, Kendo's in his early 30s. Like, 20 years ago doesn't seem like that long, and the shit has changed so much. It used to take 6 months, a year, whatever, to hit video. 2 months now. So nothing's
Yes.
going to make that kind of, like, long-term theater presence. But with The Force Awakens, you had all this hype and this build and this goodwill. I think there's a sect, and we're going to talk about it in a minute because I got some an article pulled up. Like, especially in the last 2 days since the other piece of news we'll talk about in a second, J.J. Abrams has come to light. Like, there's a little shift, and not like, okay, let me rephrase it. There's a noticeable shift because, like, I've been in the camp of I don't like The Force Awakens since day one, but I get angry because, with the exception of you and the other couple of the guys on the podcast, everyone else around me seems to love it. Oh, it's so great. It's this, it's that. It's a great return to form. Blah blah blah. Now I'm on the internet and I'm reading a bunch of people bitching like, well, it's the same movie. So it took roughly 2 years for that to set in. With Episode 9, and we're going back to J.J. Abrams, I think there's going to be a lot of dread, and people are still going to go see it, obviously, in droves, but I think there's going to be a noticeable chunk of people that are like, I'll wait to see it on video, or I'll wait to hear what people have to say first. Like, I don't think people are going to go blindly into this one, and I think that's what's going to hurt it. If Episode 8 isn't completely original and amazing.
You know, and Kendo, feel free to jump on this. I'm not trying to step on your toes, bro. But I think you're right for the most part in terms of the slow reaction to the Star Wars movies. But I think you're underestimating the fatigue that J.J. Abrams and Disney are bringing. So, and again, this is bringing to effect that the fans of The Force Awakens refuse to acknowledge how fast the name brand of The Force Awakens fell off prior to Rogue One.
True.
Right? So no matter what anyone says, we can all agree, pop culturally wise, The Force Awakens was an afterthought at the time that Rogue One came out. So
yeah,
even
I would argue even earlier than that. I'd say, since we got so many blockbusters that come out, I'd say by the time Deadpool hit. Yeah, Deadpool.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Or Deadpool's after episode. People were talking, like, here's the thing. Star Wars came out, it made all of its money right away. The problem with that, for at least, like, longevity's sake, is nothing holds value anymore. The reason old Star Wars stuck around the way it has fucking 40 years later, because it took 3 years to come out, and those things would come out in theaters constantly, re-releases. It was a big deal when they hit home video. It was a big event when they hit TV. Like, nothing's treated like a big event. It's like, it's the cycle. You know, it's like, boom, boom, hit the theater, hit the video.
But not only that, I think the most comparative thing for The Force Awakens, as far as Star Wars, is Attack of the Clones. So at the end of the day, Attack of the Clones, not that great of a movie, blah 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 blah. But at the release, Attack of the Clones was going against Spider-Man, and even against Spider-Man, and it lost. But pop culturally wise, in terms of the conversation, you know, they were playing all the original trilogy on TNT nonstop. You had a lot of resurgence of Star Wars merchandise. You had, Fox, even for those few periods of months right before Attack of the Clones came out, they were playing the movies. So there was a presence for Star Wars against Spider-Man, which Spider-Man, as we all know, was fucking huge because it was the shit back then. So so you fast forward to 2015, even with the layoff between 2005 and 2015, the Force Awakens didn't have the presence that Attack of the Clones had. So you go to episode 8, for my point, there is not, in terms of movies, of other films coming out, Star Wars, especially now, outside of Rogue One, does not have the fucking carrying ability that the fucking prequels had. And as far as a fan, you brought up, you and I are huge Star Wars fans. That's fucking huge because Star Wars Episode 8 is coming out, and they're fucking remaking. The movie poster is reminiscent of fucking A New Hope again. Even Attack of the Clones had a way bigger presence than Episode 8 is having right now.
Yeah, because it took 3 years between each movie.
Yes, and we're just a year out. That's fucking crazy. Even with Attack of the Clones, 2 years out, everyone was like, holy shit, what's going to happen? For fucking Episode 8, it's mild as fuck.
Here's the thing, too. The thing with the prequels, we knew where the prequels were going from day one. This is a story of how Anakin became Darth Vader. We knew from 1997 when they fucking had started filming them and they announced it. It's like, hey, that's what's going to happen. So we had known years out. So 8 years prior, we knew where this is going. Where is this series going? Where's the franchise going? It seems like it's spinning in circles. We want to remake the first one. Then we're going to make a dark one. And then we're going to make a light, funny one. But, that's all. There's no, narrative or theme. Even with the original Star Wars, when it was new and no one knew it, you knew leaving Star Wars that it was an awesome movie, and it's about the journey of Luke Skywalker. Hey, the journey's not over. There may be more. That's it. We knew it was the journey of Luke Skywalker. People say, here's the journey of Rey, but Rey's journey's over. She accomplished everything Luke did. What's the evil?
Exactly.
Kylo Ren's not a formidable threat. Darth Vader was a formidable threat who just happened to get away. So it's like, oh man, Luke's going to become a Jedi. Darth Vader's still out there. Holy shit. You had these things. It's like, well, Kylo Ren got beat by the hero. What is there to look forward to? Is he going to all of a sudden have trained within the day? Because this movie takes place minutes after Episode 7. Thing is, these companies are so anxious for money, they're ready to reach into your pocket and not even give you a complete story that makes sense. It's like, why is it even have a Star Wars crawl? Because Star Wars movies have crawls. I get it. But it's previously, it should start out like a TV show, previously on Star Wars, and then just show a recap of Episode 7, and Episode 8 instantly starts afterwards. That's how you gotta fucking treat it. It's not even, grandiose anymore, man. It's just, ugh. I don't know. I've talked about it ad nauseum this week.
There's no shine to it anymore.
Thank you.
Agreed.
I mean, especially leading into Episode 8, there's going to be another Star Wars movie, 5 months later? Isn't that when the Han Solo movie's supposed to come out in May?
Comes out in May. And then we got a whole year and a couple months until Episode 9, so I guess that'll get the hype. I know a lot of people in the comments will say, well, they moved the date so it won't conflict with the Avengers. I agree, because the same company owns both franchises, and it would be embarrassing to watch the Avengers wipe the floor with Star Wars. Because don't underestimate the power of Marvel. Because everyone's like, oh, you love Marvel, but you hate Star Wars. The only reason I ever bring those comparisons up on separate videos is because they're both owned by the same company. It just goes to show you how proper leadership under the same corporate umbrella can be so vastly different. With Kathleen Kennedy, it's all about her ego and regurgitating what George Lucas did. I said it earlier this week. She is not original. She is not a creative person. She was George Lucas's secretary, and she rode on the back of giants to get where she is. She's only there because it's who she knew, not what she knew. Now, with Marvel and Kevin Feige, you had a dude who loved that shit as a kid. He worked his way up from the bottom, and now he's the head honcho, and he deserves it. And you see that those films have a narrative. They took Z-list characters and made them household names. People know Rocket Raccoon now. 10 years ago, even I, who read Marvel, only knew who Star-Lord was. So they are doing a great job. Star Wars is... I don't know what Star Wars is anymore. I don't think most people know what Star Wars is anymore. It's not even it's just a brand. It's not even a... I don't know. It's not a way of life for people anymore. It's just oh, hey, it's like death and taxes. It's
a cash cow.
Yeah.
It's a cash cow.
It's like I was telling some of the people in the comments sections that don't want to listen, because there's plenty of fanboys out there that fall into the Ermagerd Star Wars crowd. No matter what is labeled Star Wars on it, they will throw everything in it. They're walking fucking cash machines for Disney. That's all Disney sees them as. They will get all their money back. They could make Star Wars the last, gay porno and call it Episode 10. And as long as there's lightsabers, a TIE fighter, and Star Wars lingo, it could be a room full of dudes just pounding each other in the ass. These people will go see it. They'll go see it multiple times, and then they will tell you how great the movie is and that you're a fucking asshole if you disagree.
You're right. I'm trying not to laugh into the microphone because it's a legitimate.
But
that would actually happen.
I wouldn't go see it. I'd be like, I don't know. There could be some lightsaber dueling in there, and I'm pretty sure there will be plenty of sword fighting. But that doesn't make it a Star Wars movie.
I don't think without George Lucas involved somehow, it's not a Star Wars movie.
I mean, Spaceballs made the perfect example about it when they had Spaceballs the everything.
Yep.
That was parodying the fact that Star Wars could be labeled on anything and people would buy it. And that was in the 80s.
Yep.
Today, same thing, except for Star Wars toys.
It's worse nowadays, I think.
Yeah, there's too much of the shit. That's the problem. There's too much of it.
Like, the fact that there are, like, Star Wars Campbell soup cans and Star Wars. Like, I get the Legos and the action figures and the role-playing shit, but it's like, there's so much everything. Like, Star Wars beanbag figures. Star Wars Hot Wheels. Star Wars diapers. Like, come on, people. Like, seriously, we're getting to a point where it's like... Like, what is... Like, there's no Star Wars branded condoms, because that would be, like, brand dilution, but that'd be the only thing I'd buy. Like, right now, it's like, hey, what would you buy with Star Wars Disney on it? Condoms, just because it would be fucking funny. You know?
Oh, yeah, dude. The rib for her pleasure, Star Wars vibrating cock ring, I'm there.
It's got to make lightsaber swoosh sounds as you, like...
Every thrust.
After you come, it goes, the circle is now complete, and then it just turns off.
For the win.
Let's talk about J.J. Abrams coming back as Star Wars. So, I got this news earlier in the week. I about shit my pants. I jumped onto YouTube. A bunch of you people agreed with my thoughts. I thought J.J. Abrams is like the Kraft mac and cheese or the Heinz tomato ketchup. He's just plain and boring and safe and simple and really not challenging or, you know, interesting to the palate. He's just there. He's the most basic thing. He's the Wonder Bread of directors. Everybody will eat a slice of Wonder Bread unless you're a vegan. So, what were your thoughts, Dion? Were you angry like I was when you heard J.J. Abrams was coming back?
No, I wasn't angry. I wasn't, honestly. I was sad as fuck because and listen, you know, anger insinuates that they made the wrong choice. They didn't know what they were doing, but they made the choice anyway. For me, sadness encompasses the fact that they know what the problem was. He said himself he's not doing another Star Wars movie. And then whatever they told him, he came back. So they acknowledged the problem with The Force Awakens, and they asked him to come back anyway. He said himself he wasn't going to do fucking spin-offs or sequels. And here he is again, doing episode 9. So, my sadness is the fact that, you know, despite the small issues with Star Trek, the big issues with Lost, the big issues with the Alien, even though that wasn't him, that was one of the writers that he worked with, went and did Prometheus.
David Lindelof?
Yes. He has not learned anything. And so when Star Wars comes around, because again, it's Disney, it's J.J. Abrams, they probably didn't start working on episode 9 until they announced that he was part of it. He hasn't learned anything. So the story is going to be complicated. It's going to be heavy-handed. He's going to fucking cater to, you know, the fucking Ray crowd. And it's going to be a fucking poorly torn story.
You know what's nice? You know what's nice though is that he can't hide behind this mystery box bullshit. He has to. It's the end. Like motherfucker, you have to tell the end of the story.
Not only that, but what he did with The Force Awakens was, I came at the last minute. He can't pull that now because it's 2017. So when the movie comes out in was it 2019 or no 2020? He can't pull that.
19.
Is it 19? He can't pull that anymore. He can't say, I didn't know what I had. You know, sequel business is very hard to do. He can't say that now. So when episode 9 is bullshit, and I promise you right now, fucking hold me to it, viewers. He's going to blame it on the fact that I didn't have enough time to get ready. Blah 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 blah. Remember, he said this shit in September of 2017. He had more than enough fucking time.
You know what the funny thing is? For his excuses, put it like this: I've never directed anything in my fucking life. If you gave me 2 years to make that movie, I could make a Star Wars movie because he doesn't even really do much. It's the Kathleen Kennedy and the higher ups at Disney that have like, this is where we're going corporately. So this is what the story needs to be to facilitate where we want to go as a brand. It's not like, I mean, I didn't even like him that much when he was making the prequels, but goddamn it, George Lucas was like, hey, the story. But everything was in service of the story, good or bad quality, but it was in service of the story, and we knew that. It wasn't like, hey, George needs a new Ferrari, let me sell whatever toys. And when he made mistakes, he went back on it.
But to that point, George Lucas, like you said, he went back to it, and especially for 2 and 3, he didn't take sole control. So a lot of, especially now, movies based on prior properties, they don't. The director will at least ask someone what they should do. The actors will ask the original actors or someone who knows the property. J.J. Abrams isn't going to do that.
No, look at Luke Skywalker. He's pissed. Mark Hamill's pissed about
Yes.
the direction of his character. You think he wants to do this shit? No, he's like, I need money.
Not only that, Mark Hamill's one of the few stars loyal to the property that made him famous. And that's why he was like, hey, listen, this is how Episode 7 should have ended. Not because he needs money, but because he's like, listen, that makes a better fucking story. And J.J. Abrams, like Chris Nolan, the fucking finite, the small details, they can't incorporate that into the film, and that's why Episode 9 is going to be the exact fucking same as The Force Awakens, because he can't he as much as a self-imposed sci-fi fan he can't look at the original trilogy and say, this is what made it good. He's going to go, oh, I'm the fucking director. I have to put my own fucking face to it, and this is what I think the original said. And so that's why he's
going to make Return of the Jedi again.
Isn't he writing it too?
Yeah, here's the fucked up part.
A shitty version of Return of the Jedi. A shitty version of it. That's the difference.
That's
going to
suck. A lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Kendo, you just brought up the writer. Is he writing it? Yeah, he's co-writing with a guy named Chris Terrio, who did win an Oscar for Argo, which was a great movie. But Chris Terrio also wrote the script for Justice League, which was so bad that they hired a whole other director to come in, work the reshoots, and rewrite the fucking script because it was considered unwatchable. So, while this guy did great shit, Chris Terrio did Argo and other stuff like that, these genre movies need people that like it. Like Kevin Feige likes Marvel Comics. He loves that shit.
Yes.
So you know what? We get the best. We get all this shit. We can indulge ourselves in the history of Marvel within the service of the story. Like, for example, he modernized Iron Man. Iron Man took place in the Middle East instead of Vietnam because we have no presence in Vietnam in 2008. Kids aren't going to understand it, but kids do know that the Middle East is where a war had or was taking place. I don't remember exactly. But there's always conflicts going on in the Middle East. It makes it relevant, and it keeps it fresh and updated. But it still keeps reverence and respect to the franchise. Star Wars doesn't know how to, do that. It just literally takes the same thing over. It's like that same meal you had 20 years ago, and the same old meat. It's just like, ugh. Like, there's nothing new to it. And with J.J. Abrams, like I said, he doesn't do anything original. He literally takes what's there and basically turns it around, like the same thing, and it's like, oh, here it is, it's brand new. No, JJ, it's just the back of something. Oh, no, it's completely new, I swear to God, and I'll tell you why in the next movie. And then the next movie rolls around, and some fucker named Ryan Johnson, who I liked Looper a lot, so I can't really shit on him, but the thing is, these directors don't mean dick. These directors don't mean dick underneath it all. It's all Kathleen Kennedy and whatever she thinks Star Wars needs to be. Agenda be damned or not, she's the one. Why doesn't she just get into a fucking directing chair and make the movie herself? Because clearly, she's got an idea of where everything's going. And I think it's going down the toilet. There's a lot of divisive comments I'm seeing around the internet. Even IGN. Let me pull up this article real quick. So, it came out 2 days ago. It's titled Star Wars Episode 9, Return of J.J. Abrams. And it says, Why We're Divided Well, the return of J.J. Abrams has us divided. And it talks about the light side of how great The Force Awakens is because it made all this money. I disagree that making money makes you a good movie. I think Avatar's a piece of shit that made a bunch of money.
No, there are multiple examples of money doesn't mean shit. Fucking Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, fucking Suicide Squad. Thank you.
Spider-Man 3 is the highest-grossing Spider-Man movie.
And it was
yes.
awful.
I don't think it's the worst of the original trilogy, and it's like maybe the fourth best overall. But never mind, that's a topic for another day. But anyway, so this comes from that article. It says The Dark Side. Here's the thing about J.J. Abrams returning to write and co-direct. Co-direct? I guess they're considering Kathleen Kennedy co-director. Episode 9. It's the kind of thing that will prevent Star Wars from ever being truly great again. Sure, The Force Awakens is fine, but all the things fans complain about when talking about the film, the copycat-itis, I've never heard of that phrase before, represented a trait of Abrams that Abrams has exhibited in his movies before and will ultimately make Episode 9 a safe bet that will make loads of money for Kathleen Kennedy, but not necessarily take the series to new heights. In his too eager to please crowd mindset, Abrams resorts to what you would call memification of his subject matter. Star Trek Into Darkness is the worst example of this. We're only 2 movies into the reboot, and we've already gone to con. Of the vast universe of possible original concepts and ideas that Star Trek could explore, Abrams couldn't help himself, and he had to adapt the most popular and identifiable storyline. And within his film, he unleashed awful spins on iconic moments and lines from the original Wrath of Khan. And then they just talk about him screaming Khan. You see the same trend in Force Awakens' aping of A New Hope, though in a less crass... I don't know if it's less crass. Perhaps because Abrams has always been a self-professed Star Wars fan rather than a Trekkie. All this has happened before. There we go. Now, the only reason I pulled that article up is because in 2015, when The Force Awakens came out, IGN said that Star Wars The Force Awakens is the movie it was promised to be, with great new characters, respect for the original trilogy, and a strong understanding of what makes this franchise click with fans. I think they've pretty much changed their stance relatively quick, if you ask me.
Oh my God, they changed. No, literally, they fucking made a video a month later about how The Force Awakens wasn't true to the fucking series.
The thing is, like, everyone gets caught up in the hype. Everyone gets like, oh, Star Wars is back. Like, I'm not trying to sound like I own Star Wars, because, man, if I did, this podcast would be way different if I had that kind of money. But,
right.
Like, Dion, you and I, Star Wars never went away. Like, people go on about, like,
no.
oh, this is, like, people were talking about Batman the Animated Series last week, like, oh, nostalgia. Like, for me, the show never went away. I watched it as a kid, I bought the DVDs as a teenager, and I continually watched the show and bought the merchandise. Same with Star Wars. Prior to The Force Awakens coming out, a month wouldn't go by that I wouldn't at least watch a portion of a Star Wars movie, mainly the original film. But with that movie coming out, I kind of lost interest a little bit, but it's coming back. But my point is, like, Star Wars was never gone for us. So, like, we weren't looking for, like, I don't know how to explain it. We weren't looking for this, like call back to the classic films, because the classic films never left. We were looking for, like, the next logical step in the story. Where did Luke Skywalker go? What about Han and Leia? Like, we didn't get any of that. We got boring shit. All we got was, like, oh, hey, Han ran off. Luke ran off. Lando's gone completely. The thing is, like, Lando had a full character arc in Empire. Like, hey, I betrayed my friend. You know what? I'm going to come back and make good on it. By Return of the Jedi, he had been fighting in battles, and they just mentioned it in dialogue. Why did he run off? Is he dead? Like, you need to... Like, he's such a big character. Like, Lando should have been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, with Short Round in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, why wasn't he there? Like, there are so many things, like... They're so worried about taking your camera, or the camera, and plugging in, like, hey, remember Chewbacca? Remember Han? Remember the Millennium Falcon? Remember Luke? Remember Leia? Remember C-3PO? Remember R2-D2? Remember all these things? They crunch that all together, but they forget the other things that those characters went through to make them who they were the last time we saw them. If anything, the characters are completely, like, rewritten and changed. Maybe Princess Leia's less, ruined, but she was nowhere near as good as she was in the classic movie. She was so coked up and just phoning the whole fucking thing in. I don't know, man. I'm really tired of it. I don't know what to say. I want you to take us out of our Star Wars segment, Dion.
Well, I'll say this. One, I think you're 100% right. Holy shit, Dion thinks that Jeff's right. But I'll build on this. And this is why IGN is going to be part of the problem with series.
Oh, goddamn.
When it comes to IGN, them talking about Star Wars and its tribute to the old movies. Shit, I'm trying to remember my point that I was going to make. Fucking, when you're telling a story, right? Building off your point of where are the characters now. The Force Awakens does a horrible job of that. It jumps 20 years in the future, tells you where they are at that point, and covers that up with, oh hell, well, their kids are older. It's Luke's gone. Just deal with it. In terms of whether you base it on the books, what have you, when
I get what you're saying though, and people keep you brought up about talking about the books. People keep using that as an excuse, like, well, if you don't like this movie, just read the expanded universe. Look, I didn't really get into the expanded universe. I'm not mad that there's no more expanded universe. That's not my complaint. My fucking complaint is the fact that, like, I go to see a movie. It's essentially the same movie I've been watching as a kid since, I found it on videotape in the 90s. And the things that make the movie go forward are just plot contrivances. Like, oh, well, we need to find Luke now because we have the other piece of the map. Oh, R2 just happens to wake up. Oh, there's a map to Luke Skywalker, but he's meant to be hidden. Like, there's just so many dumb things. Like, why does this happen? Because of plot. Like, in the original film, how did Luke and Obi-Wan get the plans? Well, Leia knew where Obi-Wan was, and R2-D2 was determined to find him. And then it all kind of built off of each other. Like, each moment made sense logically. Like, the next step was meant to happen. With this movie, it's like, well, hey, there's the next step. Oh, no, we got to veer off to show you the Millennium Falcon and have a quick TIE fighter battle on a desert planet. Okay, now let's move to the next logical step. Oh, no, wait, we got to stop because we have to introduce Han Solo, the biggest character in this movie. Okay, we're going forward to the next place. Oh, we have to stop to go to a cantina just because it's reminiscent. And then people are like, well, there's all kinds of bars and shit through the galaxy. Yeah, there are. But why do we have to go back to one in the fucking beginning of a trilogy? There was a fucking bar in Attack of the Clones. That was nothing. Nothing like the cantina. But this one was exactly like the fucking cantina. Weird aliens, weird music, a fucking... Well, the Yoda-like character wouldn't appear to the next movie. But my point is, like, it's the same thing. At least with Attack of the Clones, like, when they go to that bar, it's like a nightclub that we've never seen in a Star Wars movie. If anything, George Lucas can always be credited as making the universe bigger, and J.J. Abrams and Disney has made it smaller. Like, everything's like, oh, you know this person, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, shit, everything's super, super connected, like, to where there's no, like, wiggle room for anything new to enter. It's like we're stuck with these same, like, 5 people. This is a galaxy of billions of life forms, but we're stuck with these 5 fucking people because the old ones made money, and because we want to make money, we can't go away from anything that's not safe. So...
Right. Yep.
My anticipation for Episode 8 is an all-time low. I find it funny that you're talking about... I mean, I'm not saying you are oblivious to, like, stuff, but you follow stuff as much as I do, but you and I follow, like, different sources, and no source seems to be talking about Episode 8. If anything, they've jumped over Episode 8. They're so focused on 9 in this Han Solo movie. Episode 8's an afterthought. It's going to come out. People are obviously going to see it, but it's going to make, like I said in the past, like 20% less than Episode 7 because there's not all this months of hype. Like, oh my god, people are watching and reviewing these trailers and they're crying because they're wearing Star Wars capes and they're a bunch of fucking idiots. Like, that's gone. Like, we're past that moment. Social media and Star Wars aren't in love anymore. It's like, now it's like an everyday thing. It's like a regular movie. The luster's gone. It'll make its money based off brand recognition, but people aren't going to go out of their way to experience Star Wars because Star Wars is no longer an experience.
But not only that, the story doesn't make sense. And I know what you said to close it out. I don't mean to fucking drag it on, but the story doesn't make sense when compared to the original source material. In The Force Awakens, we've said it multiple times. That's not who Luke was at the end of Return of the Jedi. Even if you fucking go, oh, it's been 30 or 20-something years since then, the level of which he learned to be a Jedi was the starting point, and the fucking benchmarker for who he is going forward. So for him to just abandon being a Jedi is the antithesis of what we watched before. For Han Solo to fucking, through 3 films, know that, okay, I love Leia, and I love being one of the pallbearers for the rebellion. For him to give that all up for Episode 7, again, is the antithesis of who he was in the original trilogy. For even for Leia to go through to have her home planet blown up, and then to once again become the rebellion after 20 years is the antithesis of her character.
Besides it just being the antithesis of her character, it's the antithesis of the entire fucking saga. Like, it was the battle to defeat the Empire. Well, it never happened. What? Like, they don't even show, like, a threat. Like, at least with, like, the Yuzon Vong from the expanded universe. Like, there was a time of peace, and then, like, there's the remnants of the Empire. Why not just have this be the remnants of the Empire, and they're like, they defeat that, and then they come back later, you know? Like, why can't we have something like that happen? I don't know, it's confusing. We're just spinning our wheels at this point, both us as world-class bullshitters and Disney as a, whatchamacallit, as a franchise holder of Star Wars. It's confusing, it's upsetting, I don't know.
Yeah, no, agreed. It's this weird thing where they think that it's okay to go against what they thought was going to happen, let alone what they thought was a part of the universe they built. And that's the fucking problem. That's the problem.
Well, listeners, in closing of this segment for real this time, if you really want to hear us get down to the nitty-gritty minutia of Star Wars Episode 7, join the Patreon for just $1 a month. You can listen to the full 2 hours, 6-minute or 36-minute commentary about The Force Awakens. It's dark. We don't pull any punches. We're very mean, but you know what? We make all these relevant points. It's not like we just sit around the TV saying, oh, the old one's better because it's the old one. No, like, we actually will go and tell you why, Episode 7 fails as a story. We're not just, saying it sucks because we think it's the cool thing to do or because it's, the only reason I live for. No, it's something I've been saying since the fucking movie came out the day of. People can go back. It's recorded in history. Never liked it. Always had a problem with it. Only now is everyone else starting to see the cracks in the fucking foundation, and it's gratifying to see that I'm not alone, and you should just go check it out. It's a lot of fun, and we're going to constantly be updating it with shit you want us to talk about. So let's get into the next news segment. Let's talk about something that exceeded all expectations, the movie It. Dion, did you get a chance to see It yet? Kendo, did you see it?
Not yet. I've had several friends that have seen it, and they've told me how good it is, so I'm probably going to check it out at some point.
Check it out. Yeah, well, listeners, if you want me to check out It, tell me in the comments section below. I'm thinking about seeing it, I guess, the day you would hear this, but if you'd like a review of it, let me know. I'll do a little video. I'm a fan of the original It, not like where I read the book and swear by Tim Curry only, but I do enjoy It. I'll probably enjoy this one because I like horror movies, and it's really rare to find an R-rated horror film that has the balls to do stuff. Nowadays, everything's so safe. Like Hollywood needs to protect us, but then you put out bullshit that like ruins our psyche beyond like it's frustrating, some of the shit they make. So I don't think I'm gonna have any problems with it not being Tim Curry or anything like that. Actually, I'm really excited to see the movie. So if you just want me to review it, let me know down in the comments section below.
Yeah, I'll go see it too and help him with the review if he needs it.
Yeah, we'll make it happen, guys. We're here to serve you sometimes.
We'll talk about the clowns.
They all float down. That's the best part of that. Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
It's funny because it's just like, my sister read the books and I saw the movie. I didn't read the book, but our big thing this week was to go and see it. And 100%, man. I'm all for, if you want us to do it. I think all three of us are reasonably ready to go check this shit out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, look it. Then what we'll do, fine. Don't even worry about the comments section, listeners. Dion, you go see it as soon as you can. Kendo, you see it. I'll see it and take my notes, and then we'll get on Skype and we'll release a little review for you guys. So we'll go do it. There
Deal.
we go.
Yeah, we're all gonna do it together,
Yeah,
but separate.
all four of us. I'm including Hillary, Dion, because it'd be kind of weird if she wasn't there. Anyway, let's talk about our next topic. Netflix has no regrets on spending $6 billion on new content.
I would.
Yeah, if I had $6 billion to spend, God, I would buy so much dumb shit, like Miami Vice props and like 6 houses. I'd be broke like fucking MC Hammer. Like, if somebody just say, "Here's $6 billion in cash, go crazy," I will go crazy. But know that you guys will all be millionaires because
I'm buying a
have
castle.
money to hang out with somebody. Castle Kendo?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a castle somewhere like in a semi-populated area, and every day at noon, I'm just gonna walk out with like a bundle of like $1,000 and just throw it out into the masses to watch the people beat the shit out of each other for my own amusement.
That would be hilarious. I would come over just to watch it with you.
Oh yeah, no, dude, it's gonna be a castle. It's gonna have plenty of places you could just rock up and just hang out. We'll just chill out in the fucking the courtyard area and just get drunk.
I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna stay with you for the next 2 weeks. We'll go through like $100,000.
That's cool.
No, but back to this article because I'm not Netflix. Maybe one day. So it says Netflix doesn't regret investing billions of dollars into new content, according to company CFO David Wells. As per the Hollywood Reporter, Wells told Wall Street on Tuesday the roughly $6 billion Netflix will spend on content, along with the $4.8 billion it has racked up in debt already, is well worth the cost. Wells believes the money spent on new and original content shows like Stranger Things and House of Cards has helped Netflix get an estimated 104 million subscribers worldwide. However, Wells also noted that Netflix may soon be more constrained in its budget. We might be to the point where we start seeing more budget constraint, he said. That has some benefit in terms of helping drive discipline on the content line. Wells emphasized that Netflix has always been disciplined on how much it bids on new shows despite its large debt, and that the company has walked away from some things. I wonder what those are. Though Netflix is looking to improve how it works on mobile devices, Wells confirmed that the main focus right now is the big screen experience. So, I guess they understand that they blow a lot of money, but to Netflix, I'll say it one more time, get good shit like that I want to watch. I don't really care about your content. Political agendas or not, I don't really care about Wet Hot American Summer 2 or whatever it is. I'm out of Orange is the New Black. Just, I don't know. Dion, I know you've had Netflix longer than I have. Are you still in love with their original content, or do you find yourself watching Netflix less and Hulu more?
Listen, I am in love, but I'll say this. I'm in love with Netflix content, but to a point. So, Red Hot American Summer, that was great. But again, a lot of their original shit they're going to come up with, the fucking additional for our original shit, like, either one, continue the sequels to known projects, or use that to extend your catalog. Original stuff, very few of the original stuff people watch. So, a lot, like iBoy, that shit, it was the original Netflix thing, isn't going to do well. That fucking new Will Smith movie coming out with the fairies and the fucking elves and shit, probably not going to do well. The fact that you continued, like I said, Arrested Development's going to be a thing that they're continuing. That's a different story. This original bullshit, it's detrimental to your catalog, and that's the problem. If it's not continuing something that's already good, I don't want to see your take on some of the genre. I just don't. And I like Net. I'm probably someone who loves Netflix the most. Like, don't.
See, I could love Netflix more than I do now. I have in the past, but like I said, man, I just want to pay my $12 a month because I got the 4K package, and I just want access to shit that's not on DVD or shit that I didn't buy on DVD. It's like,
yes.
Do I really need to buy a copy of Police Academy 4? It's on Netflix. I'll just watch it a couple times. Like, that's why I have Netflix. It's a convenience thing. It's like a nice. It's so cheap. And it's just a nice little thing. Like, if Netflix was $20 a month and it's focused strongly on their content, I'd get rid of it in a heartbeat. I don't care. I want back catalog. Like, Amazon Prime is great for that.
Agreed.
I'm looking at their top 10 list of costs of their original TV shows, and I've watched 0 episodes of any of them.
What are they?
8 through 10 together is Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, $40 million a season. Hemlock Grove, never even heard of it, and I'm on Netflix.
Terrible. That's that
occasionally.
Show, I think.
$40 million a season. Orange is the New Black, never watched it. $50 million a season.
Ugh.
House of Cards, never watched it. $60 million a season. Marco Polo, didn't even know it existed. $90 million a season.
What?
Sense8, didn't know it existed. $108 million a season.
That was terrible.
They're ending it.
Number 2, The Get Down. I've heard of that, never watched it. $120 million a season.
Wait, what? That show costs that much money?
That's what it says.
I watched every episode of that show. I thought it was actually really good. Here's the problem with that. Something like that actually, in my eyes, is good, doesn't get a proper end. Like, we gotta watch more fucking Ozark. Fuck Ozark. I fucking hate that show with a passion. But The Get Down had some good stories. It had cool music. It was a nice alternate take on the origin of hip-hop. Where'd the money go? Like, actually, the money kind of had to fall out because there was a point where instead of the story that you would watch, it became Jaden Smith comics, where it would just tell everything in animation, and it was like poorly done animation. So, God, they burned through money. What's number 1?
The Crown, $130 million a season.
What?
What is that?
It is Netflix's ambitious period drama chronicling the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. It is by far the most expensive series to date, packed with lavish costumes and grandiose sets. The show's freshman season cost a whopping $140 million to make. Among the expenses encompassing the sky-high budget, a life-size replica of Buckingham Palace, and at least 7,000 costumes, including a $30,000 recreation of Queen Elizabeth's wedding dress.
And it wasn't even that well received. The Crown on Netflix, like, that's fucking crazy.
Why don't we ever get to know how many people watch this? Like, they're real secretive about, oh, well, we're going to pump all this money into it. Well, that's great that the critics gave it a high score, but, like, how many people actually watched it? Like, with box office numbers, like, we know that it sold a fuckload of tickets on a small budget. So we know, like, we can gauge as an audience, as the public, we can gauge what's a hit. The fact that somebody like me or you, or even Kendo, we all watch Netflix for probably maybe 20 hours a week. We don't even know what the fuck it is. Like, I had to look it up. How am I missing that? Like, it's all this money spent into it. How come I'm not seeing commercials or trailers? Like, Netflix needs to be able to quantify to the audience, like, what's their most successful thing instead of thumbs up, thumbs down percentage bullshit. Like, stop hiding behind a smokescreen and be like, this is our most popular show.
Well, if you want any consolation, Fuller House is set to have its season 3 debut soon.
Hillary will be excited.
So they are bringing that back.
I liked Full House as a kid. Couldn't get through it as an adult. Like, bad acting. Just so saccharine.
They've got a lot of original shows. I'm like looking at the list here. There's like a ton of them. But
well, let me see what they got in here that I actually like.
I've probably not watched any of it though. I've seen a couple episodes of Glow.
I liked Glow. I thought it was good. Here we go. What they got on here. Stranger Things I enjoyed. 13 Reasons Why I don't need to watch a suicide show.
A Series of Unfortunate Events. I've watched a couple episodes of that. I did enjoy that.
I watched 2, and then I realized that NPH is nowhere near as good as Jim Carrey, so I turned it off.
Really? I liked NPH better.
He is a very good actor, but to me he's too noticeable to be like ever become a character. He's just Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, yeah, something. I mean, you can tell he's NPH. Count Olaf,
Jim Carrey, it's him. Jim Carrey has a wider range, I think, than NPH. Even at his worst, Jim Carrey has... I don't know what I'd consider Jim Carrey's worst, though. Like, even in his bad movies, he's still fine. It's just the movies suck. It's not really his fault.
I think it's because I like the kids better than I did in the movie.
Fair enough. I watched, like, 3 or 4 episodes. I got to the one where they were at the bank or something like that, or the library. I don't know. They actually left the house.
Yeah. I think it's like...
I didn't like Patrick Warburton as the narrator.
Yeah, I prefer Jude Law better because I don't know. Just when I read the books, I would hear like an English man talking to me, and Jude Law fits that bill better than Patrick Warburton, and I like Patrick Warburton.
I do too, but every time I hear that man speak, I think of Joe Swanson. and how much I hate Family Guy.
I always think of the fucking dude from Rules of Engagement talking to me, Jeff or whatever his name is. The guy, the older guy that's got the wife with the big tatas and the really successful business guy.
Oh, I never have watched that show.
Oh, you got to watch Rules of Engagement. There's only like 6 or 7 seasons, and it was actually a really good show.
Is it the one with David Spade?
Yeah, David Spade's in there. He essentially plays a fictionalized version of himself of what he...
I like David Spade, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. He's in there, and I think Kate Hudson's brother's in it.
Kate Hudson has a brother that's famous?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the... Because essentially it's about a married couple who's friends with an engaged couple who's friends with a single dude that just hangs out, spends his dad's money, and bangs random chicks. Essentially what I want to be like.
Kate Husband?
No, but real quick, looking back on the things, like, I'm looking. The only show on here that I liked Stranger Things, like I said. I loved Black Mirror, but I thought that was on the BBC first, and then they bought it. Maybe I'm wrong, but Black Mirror blew me away. I'm sure I would like Narcos if I sat down to watch it, and I'm sure I loved Glow. But, like, BoJack Horseman, I fucking thought that show was terrible.
I never watched the Voltron that they have on there. I'm a fan of Voltron.
You like BoJack Horseman, Dion?
I did. I thought it was, for what it was, it definitely wasn't worth a shit ton of money, but it was good, man. I thought it was really good.
I thought F for Family was better in every way. Bill Burr's show?
F for Family was good. I don't think it was good as Horseshack.
Horseshack? What is this fucking... Welcome back, Connor. Welcome back, Horseshack.
Say that 5 times fast. But, even then, so even if you take BoJack Horseman, as far as borderline, so many other shows aren't fucking good enough. They just aren't.
What's Lady Dynamite? What's Gypsy?
Yeah. What's
Ingobernable? Never heard of Atypical, or The Killing, or Flaked, or 3%. Castlevania was good, but it's an existing franchise. Netflix just has it. It's not like they had any real input.
Right.
See, the Netflix has dumb shit like Haters Back Off. I hated the Santa Clarita Diet. I don't know, man. At least Hulu, the shit I feel like they're getting is classier. 11/22/63. Now, that's what I would consider a phenomenal TV series. Every episode had me hooked, and if there was a lot of money spent on it, it's shown on screen. Instead of, we spent $30,000 to remake Queen Elizabeth's wedding gown, which who gives a fuck? At least with 11/22/63, they presented you with a convincing 1960s America, to the point where it's oh my god, is this how it looked? Did they go back in time and film it? Obviously not, but it's so convincing and so well done. Netflix shows just don't ever get me into the world. Even the Marvel stuff, which I love, does feel like a TV show, not like an event.
They did save the Trailer Park Boys, though, so I was happy for that.
Well, yeah, I'm all for them getting old shit and keeping it alive. But I guess all I really want to say is that's not why I pay for their service. If they forgo all the backlog shit, I'm done. So, all right. So, god damn it, look at Norton Antivirus. Stop telling me there was an Equifax breach. I don't give a fuck. So, Kendo, you had some news. Why don't you take it away?
Right. First thing I got, Liam Neeson might be taking, get it, a break from action.
You're fired.
65-year-old Liam Neeson has said that he is going to retire from action roles. So,
bullshit.
I got a feeling if the paycheck is big enough, he'll do it. But, as a fan of Liam Neeson, I'm okay with that. I've seen enough of his movies where I don't have to be I can only see him as Brian Mills.
I still think of him as Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn, for sure. Or was it Michael? Not Michael Clayton, but Michael. Whatever.
He's also the guy from that episode of Miami Vice where they blew up the first Ferrari and Gina fell in love with him.
That's right. She shoots him on the rooftop. Shoot the plane down with a rocket launcher.
God, that is such a good show. Oh, dude, I wanted to call you on the phone and tell you I was watching an episode of Miami Vice the other night, and they had a hooker on there that was in love with Bill Paxton.
Oh, fuck.
Guess who was the hooker?
Who?
It was Bogomil's daughter from Beverly Hills Cop 2. I was like, holy shit, it's Jenny.
What?
No, what was her name? No, what was Bogomil's daughter's name? Not Jenny.
That
was Jenny Summers first.
Yeah, it was, oh, fuck.
Jan. Jan's
Yes,
her name.
Jan. Yep, Jan.
Anyway, my point is, like, I watched it, I'm like, holy shit, it's Bogomil's daughter. And like, she was such a piece of shit character, but because she was in Beverly Hills Cop 2, like, all I could think about was, like, I hope she makes it out alive. But go rewatch that episode, dude. It's got a great ending.
I will.
I don't think Liam Neeson will go back to action movies. He's done it for... Like, I'm going to look up his net worth real quick. He doesn't need the work. He's probably just tired of working at this point. He lost his wife. What else is there to do in life? Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, he's famous. Hang out, spend your money, watch the cool movies you did, and, just chill, relax.
He can come to World Class Bullshitters and hang out with us each week.
Yeah, I mean, I would be willing to tweet him and ask him if he would like to be on for an interview. I mean, I already did that to Pierce Brosnan, which, by the way, we've not heard back from yet.
Pierce, I'm waiting on you, bro.
Yeah.
I will wait.
So,
by the way, Liam Neeson's worth between $40 and $75 million, so he's okay.
He's doing all right. I think somebody also fucking tweeted Juliette Danielle, and we've not heard back from her yet either.
Well, we have like 5,220 subscribers on YouTube. If everyone tweeted her just once, she would be on the show. So
yeah,
it's getting to a point where it's like a group effort. If you guys would like us to talk to Juliette Danielle from the room, I know she'll do it. If 5,220 people said, "Hey, Lisa, you're tearing us apart. Go on World Class Bullshitters,"
yeah,
she'll do it, man. Hell, 5,000 people to Pierce Brosnan, he would look into it at least.
Yeah, at least his rep would at least kind of like pull up YouTube and see what we're all about.
Well, we'll send them a clip. It's like, we actually like Pierce Brosnan. Because normally they'll hear us talk shit about everything, and then they'll hear me go, he's really an underrated James Bond. He's the only one that could come back because he didn't get closure, blah, blah, blah. And they'd be like, well, they seem to like you, Pierce. So he hears it, and he's like, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And Dion gets really belligerently drunk and says a few bad things to him, like how he prefers Timothy Dalton. He leaves. And I smack Dion.
Die Another Day was fucking terrible. What's wrong with you, Pierce? I'm glad you're not a hero anymore. And they'd be like, well, this went well.
I wouldn't kiss his ass. I'd be like, man, I love Goldeneye, but Die Another Day shit the bed. Could you tell us what happened with the
What happened there?
What's the process, man? What's the fucking process?
Like, I blame the Broccolis.
I blame Halle Berry.
Well, she is part of the fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what else you got, Kendo?
All right, so Billy Lord, famous for being shat from the womb of Carrie Fisher, apparently had auditioned for the role of Ray Ray in The Farce Awakens, but she did not get it. She was obviously passed over for the much... Never, I can't even say with a straight fucking face, Daisy Ridley. And she still got in the movie. She played Lieutenant Cadel Connix or some shit or another. And she's done nothing else really of any fucking note. She'll be in The Last Jedi. But yeah, so Carrie Fisher's daughter auditioned to be Rey and did not get it. So.
Yeah.
I don't think it doesn't matter who plays the character's going to suck ass.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it was just a poorly written character.
I don't know. Fucking Daisy Ridley, I think, had they got someone that can actually act, Daisy Ridley is not a good actress. I'm
not saying she is, but...
I don't know, man. If you get someone that can actually, like, portray true loss and wonder and all that, Daisy really could not fucking do that. She really couldn't.
Hey, when she put that fucking... Rebel pilot helmet thing on, staring off at the sunset, there was some wonder there.
Very.
Yeah, I wonder where she got it.
Yeah,
I'm still watching.
And yeah, that was my wonder. Was, man, why am I fucking agreeing to do this again?
Exactly. Why am I here?
So, the next story we got Patty Jenkins. She has been signed on to direct the sequel to Wonder Woman, aptly titled Wonder Woman 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. So she will be directing that movie. She apparently hasn't been very shy about the ideas that she has for the movie. She's hit back against James Cameron, saying that it was a bad, step for women's and all that stuff, and that Wonder Woman didn't do a good job of doing that. Thoughts, guys, on Patty Jenkins directing the Wonder Woman 2?
Won't be surprised she backs out again, like she backed out when they were looking for a fucking director again. So I'm surprised. Yep.
Well, she's apparently also co-writing this with Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns isn't as untouchable as people like to think he is.
Right.
So I'll wait and see. But for those out there who don't know, Jeff Johns is a comic book writer who I think he's the chief creative officer for DC Entertainment now. I like his work. I loved was it Green Lantern First Flight, basically the reboot origin story for the Hal Jordan Green Lantern. And this comic stuff like that's been damn good. But we gotta see. We gotta see. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I have not watched Wonder Woman yet. I was thinking about renting it when it comes out just to give it a look-see.
We could do a commentary for Patreon.
Actually,
do a commentary for here.
We can do that.
I gave it a fucking 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, the only person that gave it a high score was Dustin because he was in love with Gal Gadot.
Of course. And anything Zack Snyder does, he fucking will come in his fucking dad shorts about.
See, I had a different type of emotion towards Gal Gadot. It was of admiration on a physical level. But she did a good job as an actor. I mean, she's not great, but she's definitely better than what she was in BVS. Put it like that. You got to step up from complete garbage.
Even then, it's just like, as far as the movie was concerned, and feel free to read my post on the World Class Bullshitter Facebook page regarding Wonder Woman, but they missed so many marks in that movie, so many cool things that could have happened. I just, whatever, man. It's very meh. It's super meh.
Well, all right.
All right, Kendall.
Okay, the next piece of news we got. So Game of Thrones, Season 7, the penultimate season of the dragon-flying, incestual-loving show on HBO. Was pirated over 1 billion times on the interwebs and various places. So clearly HBO was not happy with that. I mean, who would be happy that their show got pirated over 1 billion times? So in order to combat this, and they're concluding Season 8 season, they have written multiple and will be filming multiple endings to the series. So that way, if people do jack the scripts off the computers and publish them, or try to pirate any of like the stuff out of the databases, I guess that whatever HBO would have them sitting there in the hopper waiting to broadcast, they may not know exactly what they're going to get because they're just filming a bunch of, I guess, pretend endings and keeping the real one under wraps. So
I feel like I need to get into that show when it's all done.
Okay, so I was a fan of the show for about 4.5, 5 seasons because I'd read the books, so it was kind of cool seeing the stuff on screen because I'd read the books. After they passed up the books, then they started flying by the seat of their pants, and it just wasn't as enjoyable to me. Like I would say about half of the 5th season, I was just like, God, this is dumb, because you can tell that they are writing ahead for this character, and they're kind of taking it in its own the direction that they want to take it in, not true to what the book version of this character would probably be doing in the next couple of books. So that's kind of dumb, and just, I don't know. It's like once they got past where they actually had any like tie to the actual source material that was out there, they just kind of started throwing shit together, and essentially they sat down with the fat bastard that won't write these because he's too busy playing grab ass at conventions to get behind a typewriter and finish his work, and he needs to hurry up because he's looking old, and heart attacks happen to old fat white dudes. So he probably needs to hurry up and get his ass clicky clacking on the keyboards. But it just seemed they sat him down and he gave him the end game. He said, "This is where I'm going. This is the conclusion." And so he told them that they could do whatever they want to get there, and you can tell just the way the story and the direction of the episodes were going that it's kind of like they were just like flinging shit around, saying, fuck it, people are going to watch it anyway.
It's that kind of creativity that keeps people around. I don't know. Honestly, if I was in this situation, I probably would never finish the series either. I'd enjoy the money and the fame.
Yeah, I would just come out and just be like, "Oh yeah, the bitch that everybody thought you were gonna." Yeah, she dies, and that guy dies. That guy dies. Who ends up sitting on the Iron Throne? The fucking
Ivan Drago.
D-Ray. Well, who's D-Ray? He's a sand person from Dorne. He's connected somehow. So, there you go. But we've never heard of him. Who fucking cares? I'm rich.
It's a very Star Wars ending.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, if you actually sat down to watch it, I would recommend the first 4 seasons. Those are fine. Those are good. 5, it goes a little wonky. 6 was And then I haven't watched 7. Because I didn't feel like paying for HBO to watch. I didn't feel like paying HBO to sit there for several weeks or one day, $10 or whatever it was to go through it, because I was like, I didn't really like the last one, and I was kind of checked out in season 5. So
I hope they put Westworld. Well, it'll always be on HBO Go. I want to check out Westworld. That seems like a really cool series.
I haven't watched that one yet. All right, and then the last story I've got is my special Jeff story of the week.
Ooh.
Pop star Selena Gomez's best friend gave her a kidney this summer.
Oh, fuck.
So
I didn't even know she needed a kidney.
Yeah.
I just know she has a really big head. That's about it.
Well, she revealed on today, that she received a kidney transplant from her Biff.
Biff Tannen?
Yeah, her Biff. So I guess there was an Instagram picture that popped up where the two of them are laying there in hospital beds holding hands, getting ready to go under the knife. Obviously, everything went well because they're both walking and talking as of right now. But, so apparently she had lupus, and she got diagnosed with lupus and I guess needed a kidney. So her bestie came through and fired her kidney. See, what the bestie should have done, which actually bestie probably doesn't need to do it because I'm sure she gets money anyway. But if she's like, I really need a kidney to live, be like, yeah, you're also pretty fucking rich. My cost of my kidney just went up. So you want to live. Let's see some zeros behind that one on that checkbook.
I'm like, hey, I got some student debt to pay off.
I would assume that if they're like really that great of friends, that Selena's probably covering her tab to hang out with her anyway. Because that's what I would do. If I was that fucking loaded, I would be like, essentially, you guys would be my entourage, and you would never have to pay a dime for anything. Be like,
I like the way you think.
Be like, fuck, man, I got millions upon millions in the bank, and I got some in an untouchable situation collecting interest, so I never fucking go broke like MC Hammer. Let's go fucking spend money and do shit.
We'll make that happen soon, man.
Yeah.
I got one piece of news that just came to my attention, and we got to talk about it.
Who died?
Nobody died, sadly.
Fuck.
J.J. Abrams promises to add gay character to Star Wars. This comes from the Daily Wire.
Isn't J.J. Abrams already the gay character in Star Wars?
I thought so, too, or at least it was R2-D2.
C-3PO.
J.J. Abrams has taken over We already know that shit. Anyway, last year, Abrams told the Daily Beast, when I talk about inclusivity, it's not excluding gay characters. It's about inclusivity. So, of course, I would love it. To me, the fun of Star Wars is the glory of possibility. Really, JJ? Is it? Is that what you think of when you watch those movies? So it seems insanely narrow-minded and counterintuitive to say that there wouldn't be a homosexual character in that world.
So would they be space homosexuals, or, as we learned from our commentary, spomosexuals?
Spomosexuals.
Or spays?
Spays and neutered. No, I mean, I'm fine with it, but why is this a news story? Like, stop announcing this type of shit. This is why I have a problem with the way movies are marketed. It's like, if they're gay, fine, but, like, don't tell me years in advance, oh, this is the stars with the gay character.
Yeah, he wants to win one of those fucking GLAAD awards.
It doesn't build the movie up. It doesn't make it better. Like, just put it in there. If you have to have it in there, if Kathleen Kennedy said it's trendy and hip to have a gay character, like, just put him in there, and, like, 2 years out, we don't need to hear about it. Like, that's not what people care. People want to know the fucking story of the movie, not, oh, is there somebody that likes the same gender as them?
Well, it's like Reno 911. We've talked about that show. We've mentioned that we do like that show. Lieutenant Jim Dangle is clearly gay, but he never tells you he's gay. Yeah, he never tells you he's gay, but you can tell he's gay. And he doesn't have to tell us, but we still like him, and we still appreciate the role he plays in the show and enjoy the show. But Comedy Central didn't have to come out and say, oh, yeah, or Thomas Lennon didn't have to come out and say, by the way, I'm playing a gay character. Go us. It's, yeah, you know what? He is. We don't care. It's funny. The character's good without that.
He was the best character on that show by a mile.
Oh, yeah, either him or fuck, I cannot think of the guy's name. Robert Ben Grant played him. It was usually the dude with the always wore the fucking bulletproof vest and had the mustache and sunglasses on all the time.
Oh, dude, I gotta look at pictures. I haven't seen that show in 10 years.
Either that or the guy that was always partnered with the black dude that would always say something like borderline racist. And then that's like, always like, God, I should be saying stuff like that. I liked him too. It's a good show.
That show feels like a response to Super Troopers, but at the same time, it's very much its own thing.
Yeah. I need to go back and watch those.
You really do. You really do.
So that's all I got for the news section.
All right, so let's talk about our fan questions this month, or this week. So patrons, obviously you know that you have the right to send us questions. So this first question comes from Justin Beck. Recast the Indiana Jones series with the bullshitters.
Phil is short round.
Okay. Joel is Dr. Marcus Brody. Dan would be the Indian guy that was sacrificed by Molaram in the middle part of Temple of Doom. That got his heart ripped out, except it would be his lungs.
Should we just recast him by movie?
Okay, fine. We'll recast him by movie. That'd be fine. That'd be fun. Fine. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, Dan would be Sapito, the guy that got killed in the very beginning of the movie. The one that robbed Indiana Jones with the idol. Throw me the idol, I throw you the whip. That guy?
Mm-hmm.
That's Dan.
Alfred Molina.
Yeah, Alfred Molina's first role.
Mm-hmm.
Phil, and if you guys disagree, obviously recast your own choices. Phil would be Tote. You know, the guy, the General Arnold Tote, the guy that his face melted off. That'd be Phil.
I would say Jeff would be Indiana Jones, and Dion would be Marion Ravenwood. We just have to put we just have to put a wig on him.
I'm fine with that if you're fine with it, Dion. Okay, Dion's fine with it.
Dion is fine with it.
Let's see who else. Kendo, you would probably be, I guess, Sala. You could be Sala.
Yeah, because I just pop up here and there. I'm supposed to die, but I don't, and I can show back up at the later time.
I'm fine with that. Who else do we need to cast? Dustin. Dustin would be Belloc.
Yeah, we'd get Belloc. Yeah, there we go. I think that's everybody.
We forgot to cast Loudy. Loudy.
He's Colonel Dietrich.
Yeah. Oh, just get his face sucked in.
Yeah.
So for Temple of Doom, we already cast Phil as Short Round, and Dan as the Indian.
I'll be Molaram.
God, that would be so fucking
just
good.
Because the idea of ripping somebody's heart out, I'd just be like, hey, you know what, that sounds like a role I would play well.
Dion, you know who you are in Temple of Doom?
Willie?
You're the guy. You're the. Who are you gonna say?
Willie.
I was gonna say he's fucking Lao Chi from the beginning of the movie.
Oh, there we go.
You keep the girl. I find another. I love that line. Let's see. Joel would be
that weird.
Do you remember the old guy?
Yeah,
the fucking
with the crazy hair that takes him to the village. They took the children.
Bring Shibalinga back to us.
Yeah, that was who I was thinking too.
And then I guess Loudy could be
Willie.
Yeah. Shut up, Willie. I love how everyone just tells her to shut up.
Well, they all have points.
Yeah, that's true. I do like Willie Scott though.
Good on you.
And then for The Last Crusade, because we don't talk about Part 4.
I didn't even know there was a Part 4. Yeah. You're lying.
Did we cast Dustin as somebody from Temple of Doom?
No. We'll make him the fucking little prince kid.
Oh, the Maharaja? Dalip Singh?
Yeah, there we go. That's Dustin.
All right. I have heard.
All right.
I hate that kid.
So you're Indy.
What?
Who would be your dad?
Give Dion Henry Jones.
All right, so Dion can be Henry Jones.
Joel's still Marcus Brody. You're still Solid.
Yep.
Dan would be, what's his fucking face? Not the German guy, Colonel Wolfram or whatever his name is. The one that dies in the tank.
Vogel.
Yeah, Vogel. Shit, I couldn't remember his fucking. I have his action figure here. Phil is who would Phil?
Who'd we cast as Brody?
Joel.
All right, so Joel's just still Brody.
Yeah.
The rest of them just can be random Nazis that die in the in the town.
Well, no, somebody's got to be Walter Donovan.
Oh yeah,
the bad guy.
Loudy.
No, Phil's the old man from the beginning who dies in the boat explosion.
There you go.
The Panama Man, I think, is his name.
Who's the chick? Who's Elsa? Dr. Schneider.
Hillary.
There we go.
She's been on enough episodes to be included at this.
All right, we'll throw her in there.
All right, so Justin Beck, that was your question for this week. We have answered your worst third installment of Trilogy. We have 2 more to answer. So, listeners, come back next week for Justin Beck's Patreon questions. All right, this one comes from Eric Ward. Here's one of my questions for the month for Shits and Grins. If you could freeze Darth Kennedy in carbonite, where would you hang her for her crimes against the Star Wars universe?
Ooh.
In the bathroom.
Nah, I'd want to do it at a public place.
Hang her at comic conventions all across the country, and then everyone pays you $1 to go see her.
There you go. That works.
$5, yeah. $5 at a convention ain't shit. It's like $5 for 3 chicken tenders, so.
Yeah, there you go. Kalen Webb, he's got a couple on the Patreon page. I'll pick this one. Darth Maul, a Star Wars story or Maul video game?
I would rather have a Darth Maul video game.
Yeah, same here. Just because I don't want another Star Wars movie that we don't need. But a Darth Maul video game could be a lot of fun as long as it doesn't end with you dying at the hands of Ewan McGregor.
I think there was supposed to be a Darth Maul video game, but George Lucas shit-canned it personally.
That sucks. Darth Maul should not have died in the first episode 1. He should have been around for a while.
Dude, like I said before, he should have been the fucking overarching bad guy. And then he gets turned on by Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith after Anakin kills him.
Yeah, I think that would have been a great idea. For all the hype surrounding his character, he goes out in the first movie. It's kind of like, wow.
He was the marketing campaign.
Oh, I know. I still have my fucking Taco Bell Darth Maul cup topper.
I have all those. I have Jar Jar Binks merchandise. Ugh.
Yeah, I've got a Godzilla '98 one too, like the cup holder thing.
Listeners, if you're younger than us, you didn't know that Jar Jar was retarded from the trailers. Because they cut good trailers. Going back to Star Wars real quick, the trailers for Episode 8 sucked ass. Or 7, in my opinion, sucked. The Episode 1 trailer was epic. That was a good-ass trailer. I might actually watch it after the podcast just because. Yeah, they even had, I think there was, pod race sequences and shit in there. It was all about, come see this fucking movie. So now let's read a couple of the comments from last week's show. Let's start with the patron comments, though, because these are pretty cool. So E said, we should make a distinction between blockbusters today and real movies. Blockbusters aren't movies anymore. They play like Disney rides. I agree. And then Danny goes to say, there's a need for a show dedicated to the downfall of Western pop culture. You guys fill the niche. Well, thank you, Danny. Mm-hmm. And then my favorite... tied for my first favorite comment of this week. This comes from Gigi Garcia. This commentary is art. It's the most artistic thing I've ever done, then. Now, tied for my favorite comment of the week comes from my J.J. Abrams video, and I got to give this guy his credit, so let me pull that video up, because I don't want to say the thing and not name drop, because it wouldn't... You know what it is. Jeff Padgett. There you go. I think that's one of my favorite comments ever on YouTube. J.J. Abrams is the tribute band of filmmakers. Yep. That was a good one. That had me going so hard. I pinned it instantly. I was at the gym when I saw it, and I started cracking up. People were staring at me. Whatever. But still, it was fucking hilarious. So, he said Jeff Padgett? I believe that's what it was. Well, thank you. You enlightened me, and you made my week better. Okay, so on to last week's episode of World Class Bullshitters, which was episode 88. I can't believe we're getting this close to 100. Real quick, Justin B. commented on our Patreon page, said, love the Star Wars, you guys. Been with us since we had 400 subs on YouTube. He's always looked around, but this is the only thing he'd ever support, and to keep up the great work. Thank you, other Justin B, because we also have Justin B 6699, who is one of our $25 patrons.
I think that's the same guy. Pretty sure it's the same guy.
No, because that Justin B has a different Patreon account. I mean, if he's donating twice, cool, but I don't know. Both Justin B's, let us know. Oh, and by the way, listeners and patrons and stuff like that, if you're trying to get in contact with the show, the best way to contact us would be through the email or the comment section, because the way that Patreon's set up, the notifications are kind of weird. So I don't want you to think like, oh, they took our money and don't want to talk to us. Like, I sometimes can't figure out where the comments go. Like, I get the notifications in an email, and then it tells me to log in, and when I do, it takes me to a different page. So if there's something pressing you ever want to tell us, email is the best bet. Like Bob Smithy, he sent us that Dragon Con report. Was it last week or the week before?
The week before, because I think we read it. I think it was 2 weeks ago we read that.
Well, yeah,
either way, he sent it.
I gave him the name drop. Yeah, he sent it to the email, and it was the best way to get to us. So remember that email address is worldclassbs@mail.com. The best mail.
.com.
Okay, so Justin B 6699 said he found My Date with the President's Daughter for us, so thank you. Okay, Nebadon Adams. Without the extended universe, Star Wars is not a big property. They always put out the same ships, weapons, worlds, etc. Jakku, bigger Tatooine. Starkiller, bigger Death Star. That's an interesting point.
It's a very accurate point as well.
Lime Green Hulk says, I think The Last Jedi will start off with Luke training Rey on some dumb island, and then it'll cut to a rebellion base on Noth, not Hoth, or New Hoth, and we'll see 3 or 4 Imperial walkers walking toward the base. The the Resistance, will use the new, stupid skimmer to take down the walkers, but then Kylo Ren and a group of about 100 stormtroopers will destroy the base, but Finn, Rose, Poe, fuck you, Dameron, will escape the base in a small ship. Then it'll go to Rey walking into a small cave where she fights some stupid octopus beast or whatever. Then Luke will teach her how to lift an X-Wing or whatever. Then it will go to Finn and the gang trying to escape the Star Destroyer, which they do much easier than Han, Leia, and Chewie. But then Poe Dameron will have to leave for some reason. Later, Luke tells Rey that Snoke is in some dumb base, and Rey, let's go take him down. Finn and Rose infiltrate the First Order base that Snoke's on. Snoke sends Kylo Ren and some stormtroopers to destroy a bunch of Resistance ships. Kylo Ren boards the ship that Leia's on. Leia and Kylo talk for a bit, then he kills her. The Resistance bombers fight Star Destroyers. The Star Destroyers destroy the Resistance bombers. Then it goes to Finn and Rose getting closer to Snoke to kill him. Luke and Rey fly to the First Order base to fight Snoke, and Kylo Ren flies back to the base as well. Finn, Rey, Rose, and Luke fight their way to Snoke. The movie ends with Rey and Kylo having a lightsaber duel, and ends with a cliffhanger as Luke approaches Snoke and it turns on his lightsaber. Then the movie ends and everyone will clap. I'd be willing to bet $5 that Lime Green Hulk pretty much has the movie down pat.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you're reading it. It sounded like somebody wrote a plot synopsis. I'm like, that probably is what's going to happen.
Here comes another long-time listener, Sexual Rhubarb. By the way, Sexual Rhubarb, every time that I read one of your comments, I think of the Joker from Batman 89 where he goes, never rub another man's rhubarb.
Yeah,
so,
yep, me too.
You got that going for you. Sexual Rhubarb says, Disney should have done what the fans wanted. I guess he's quoting me. And he goes, yeah, it's called the Thrawn Trilogy, and none of this BS New Order showing up out of nowhere. They should have set up the universe for Return of the Jedi in Episode 7. Introduce the characters and what the fuck happened between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, since the Empire did become the New Order, or a number of things left in the dark. I should have not read 20 novels to find out.
He is correct. Anytime that people say, well, you should have read the books to get that filled in, that's just fucking lazy. That's a lazy argument. I mean, not everybody's going to read extended universe books. It's like, it would be like bitching. It would be like if our argument for when people are like, well, I don't understand how Spider-Man went from fighting the Green Goblin to fighting Doc Ock, for example. And we're like, well, if you did, you should have read the comic books. You'd be able to understand it, even though that is an argument that makes no sense whatsoever. That's just like a lazy point of view to make, to say, well, you should have read the extended universe, canon novels. It's like, or they could explain it in the movie.
Hey, give us money.
Yeah. Or they could have explained it in the movie. So thank you. Don't rub another man's sexual rhubarb.
Jinx 97. I think The worst third installment will probably be whatever the hell comes after The Last Jedi.
It's not wrong.
Could be.
Probably. Starkiller 439 wrote 5 greater than 4 greater than 3 greater than 6 greater than Rogue One greater than 1 greater than 2 greater than 7. Prove me wrong. Pro tip: you can't. Well, Starkiller 439, I do appreciate you. You listen, you comment. I can prove you wrong, and this is how I'm going to do it. Rogue One's not an episodic film; it doesn't count.
I would actually say Episode 4 is better than 5, but that's a video for another day.
4 and 5, it's usually very interchangeable, depending on personal taste when it comes to most people's Star Wars lists. But keep listening and commenting. But that's the only way I'm going to prove you wrong. Rogue One doesn't count.
Well, if it's for every Star Wars movie, I agree that Rogue One's better than Episodes 1 and 2 and 7.
Yeah.
You know, if mine would be 4, 5, 6, 3, Rogue One, 1, 2, 7. Episode 1 sucks, but it's not as bad as people think.
Yeah, I would probably roll 5, 4, 6, 7.
You still there? Cut out.
I'm here.
Okay. Dion's not dead, listeners. I think he's just getting a hand job.
Good for him.
Anyway, True02 Baller says, just listen to the patron-only Force Awakens drunk commentary, and I couldn't stop laughing. What a shit movie.
It was.
Oh, and Kendo's Irish accent was hilarious.
Oh, thank you, laddie. Anytime Nick wants to hear it, it comes out, and Nick likes. He knows it's not a good Irish accent, but he knows it's not a bad Irish accent. He just thinks it's entertaining to him to hear it. So,
False Steel, turn up your mic. Me?
which one?
I've never had anyone tell me to turn up my mic, ever. Kylo Ken, which of the Species films is the worst? All of them? The one with the least amount of nudity is the worst one in my
There you
eyes.
go.
Jack Blackthorne, Jared Leto is a clown, just not the clown Prince of Crime. How did I not give that a heart and a thumbs up? That's a well-written comment.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack Blackthorne.
I just gave it a thumbs up as well. Good for you, Jack Blackthorne.
Atomic Fire 7676. You the man, Dion.
He's getting a hand job right now, so he's definitely winning this roundtable discussion.
Sam Bastion, talk about the new It movie. I want to see your guys' opinion on it. Thanks. Well, Sam Bastion, I know you watch this channel quite a bit. You're going to hear it relatively soon.
Yep.
So I'm probably going to go see it tomorrow. The other guys will see it within a week, and we'll try to get something together before episode 90. If not, talk about it on episode 90. So something's coming. Don't worry. Let's see. Oh, by the way, shout out to Brian Lape in the fan cast. Brian Lape is one of our longest listeners who does us a favor by putting out the timestamp you see each week. So if you haven't, go check out his channel. It's just Brian Lape or Brain Muffin. He does all kinds of great beer reviews. He talks about Star Wars and stuff, nerd culture. He's a pretty smart dude, so check him out. He's been on our show before. He has his podcast called The Fan Cast, which, Kendo, are you still on?
I wasn't on last week because we were venturing down the rabbit hole of bullshittiness.
Oh, okay. Well, check it out, listeners. I've been on, what was that, on episode 5 or something?
Yeah, that was the Roland and Riemann episode.
God, that was so fun.
Yeah, those were good times. Let's
see, Halo.
one night we'll just crash an episode.
So Halo Modder wanted to thank me for reading his Terminator comment. So you're welcome, Halo Modder. But let's read another comment from you, too. Disney's been absolutely silent about the new trilogy story. It all stops before the First Order forms. I hate it. I used to think they were keeping it all quiet for the new films. Now I think they have no idea where they want to take it. They have no singular vision for any of it. Let's see. James Roa. Our Hollywood original idea is dead. Remakes are out of control. We're living in the golden era of copy, paste, and redo. You know what? Let me add that to our list of debate topics right now. And we'll talk about that maybe next week on the show. So, thank you, James Roa. Let's see. Mark Grant says, Fear the Walking Dead is the best of the two shows. The Walking Dead jumps the shark. That was just awful, the last episode. Dude, I haven't watched it in so long. He also says he thinks RuPaul should play this Joker.
I could see that. New York Oggs, he says, not only do I appreciate that you don't participate in society's propaganda, I appreciate that you're up to date with pop culture and you don't pretend like you like something because the majority do. You get a thumbs up, New York Oggs.
Much more active in our show than the other Oggs for president.
Might be the same one. Maybe he moved to New York.
Oh, okay.
He rebooted himself.
Well, he's got a cool mustache now, so
The ra-
that's
the
awesome.
racist white shark says, "I don't know how I found this channel, but I love it. We love you too."
Gorilla Joe, the faggots from Collider come to mind when cucking for Star Wars. They are AMC owned. They shit on the prequels all day, but love The Force Awakens and the other piece of shit like they were superior movies. Bullshit, the prequels were not perfect, but they're a billion times more entertaining than those pieces of shit. I'm sick of Star Wars shills that are paid by Lucasfilm to ignore the dumpster fuck of a franchise this thing has turned into. People should call out the fucking shills that grovel for a few coins. Disgusting people with zero integrity and expressing real honest opinions. You can hate the prequels, but don't tell me that this new shit is superior. That's right out lying. Well, Gorilla Joe, let me give you a thumbs up and a heart, because I agree 100%, especially about the fucking corporate shilling. That's my problem with a lot of these people on YouTube in general. Like, they want to suckle at the power teat, so they will say anything they want, and they just, they throw their integrity out the window. That's why guys like Chris Stuckman just I'm not subscribed to anymore. Like, that dude is the fakest motherfucker on the planet. And Dion and I will be getting to that soon. We had some things go on. The channel started to blow up. I had to make a couple videos, so don't worry. The Problem With series is coming. I've already written out the intro. It's going to be really cool. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I'll tell the other guys off air tonight.
And those hand jobs for subscribing that Dion owes people, he has been starting to pay those out. So get him ready.
Get Even Stevens. Great episode. Hate the idea of another streaming service from Disney. He's going to be joining the Patreon group for those Bond and Episode 7 commentaries. The Bond commentary is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've already figured out the format we're going to do. Like we did, we recorded for Schlocktoberfest the other night.
Yes, we did.
Tales from the Hood.
Yes, we did.
What we're going to start doing on all of our commentaries is we're going to have like a 2 or 3 minute discussion. Maybe only, I don't know. If the YouTube people seem to have a lower attention span, I'm not talking about people that listen to our show, but in general, if you don't get to exactly what they want, they thumbs your video down and they leave. So it's kind of iffy. But we actually had like a 5 or so minute discussion before we got into the movie, and I feel like we hit some really good talking points. So we might try that with our James Bond commentaries, because I know so much about James Bond that it's ridiculous, and it helps me get some of the things I want to say out of the way before the movie starts, so it's not too distracting as opposed to what's going on screen. So be excited for those, and thank you, Get Even Stevens. Big Fat Man, are there any fans of the Guy Fieri Djibouti dubs videos out there? They're fucking brilliant. I'm going to look those up. So
They are pretty funny.
copy them. Lime Green Hulk, DC is like a human with no legs and arms. You might as well just kill him now. Goddamn.
He's on fire this week.
Yeah, that dude's pretty funny. And let's see who else we got. Nerdrotic Channel. Keep red pilling the Star Wars fans. From a white guy in his late 40s who thinks The Force Awakens blows. Thank you, Nerdrotic Channel.
We shall.
Eve La Renaissance. My name is based off of Viva La Resistance, so that's why I keep wanting to say it. It's funny, the week I get it right, I want to say it the wrong way when I read it. Okay. Does Jeff not like Moana because it's the same people who did Hercules? I'm just at a point in my life where I don't watch Disney movies anymore, and I'm not trying to sound cool. Just, when I see like animated movies coming out, I'm like, I don't care. I'll watch a hand-drawn animated movie for the artistry, like, what are they, Studio Ghibli or Ghibli films. Like, I don't even like the stories of those as much. I just like the artistry and the craftsmanship behind it. So, CGI animation just doesn't interest me. Robert I. says, I remember going to that James Bond ride. Damn, I feel old. Well, it seems like Robert I. is a member of my city, so, hey, Robert I. And let's see. The comments, we'll kind of close it out with... where's a good one to end? I don't want it to... Anakin Skywalker. Disney's overconfidence is its weakness. Your faith in your friends is yours. No, that's a good comment to end it on, I think.
There you go.
I think next week we're going to talk less about Star Wars if they don't keep putting out information every day. It's kind of hard not to talk about it because it's the only entertainment news that came out this week. But I do have a video planned about Star Trek Discovery and how it's the shining example of how you don't market a television show. So if you have any interest in that, or at least you know what Star Trek Discovery is like doing with this whole like, oh, diversity has always been a part of Star Trek shit instead of like promoting the show, because like Star Trek fans know there's been black characters and all these other things since the beginning, but they weren't like, hey, this version of Star Trek has a female captain who's black, blah blah blah. Like I remember as a kid, like Captain Janeway was just Captain Janeway. It wasn't like an event that she was a woman. It's like, oh, Captain Janeway is the captain. But whatever, we live in a fucking stupid world right now.
Yes, we do.
Entertainment's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check our email real quick. I think we have one. I checked it yesterday. I was trying to do a little preparation for tonight's show because there was not much to talk about. But I think we covered it pretty much, and we got a nearly 2-hour episode out of it, so... Let's see. Oh, wait. Looks like Bob Smithy sent us a tweet. Nick is not here to read the tweet. Maybe I can read it through email. He sent us a direct message on Twitter. He sent a URL. I'm waiting. I hope the other listeners are as excited as I am. What the fuck? There's a mosquito in my office. Let's see. Oh, it's just talking about how Netflix is going to expand its global original content portfolio.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, just what I fucking want. Listeners, keep sending us stuff like this. If you got topics you'd like us to cover, we will. It makes the show a lot more fun. Let's see. Kick and Kalen sent us some ideas for debates. Okay, we'll play this next week. We'll add it to the list. Because we have to have 4 people for this one, so... It's titled Video Games or Movies, so I think we need 2 on 2, because, you know, it would just work better that way. Alright, so that's it for the fan mail, that's it for the comment section, that's it for the Star Wars shit, that's it for Netflix, that's it for everything this week. So, fuck that motorcycle, let's drive by my house. This has been episode 89 of World Class Bullshitters. Every Thursday night we take a dump on the world of pop culture. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the little bell notification to see when all of our videos go live. And share with everybody, because we guarantee you your friends don't know what we are yet. If you liked this show and you really want to interact with us more, we're over on Facebook. We have 2 Facebook groups. We have the World Class Bullshitters page, and we have the official World Class Bullshitters fan group. The page is basically where we post all of our updates when new content goes live, stuff like that. The fan page is where you can just talk to us and shoot the shit. We got a lot of guys that we mention on the show constantly, like Brian Lape and Eddie Cantillo and Christopher Lilton, all those dudes. They're here on the Facebook group page, so they can interact with us directly. If you like what we do, or you have suggestions, or you just want to tell me I'm a fucking dick because I don't like episode 7, come to the Facebook page. It's fun. Kendo's there, everyone's there, and pretty much, you know, just have a good time. You know our email address is worldclassbs@mail.com, the best mail.
.com.
You can always get us there, and then we're worldclassbs on Twitter. I'm looking to expand over into VidMe because of some of you, like as a backup plan for YouTube. So we have a YouTube or a VidMe channel for World Class Bullshitters. So there's nothing on it yet, but maybe one day. If you'd like to support the channel, check out the Patreon. We're coming up with great new content for you guys every week. So it's worth your $1 or $5 or whatever tier you want to join. Trust me, there's going to be new stuff for you all the time. And it's going to be nice supplemental entertainment from what's here on YouTube and Podbean and whatever else you listen to us on. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to say before we put this baby to bed?
I do not.
Dion, are you there?
Still getting that handy.
Dion is not there. So, anyway, goodbye from Dion, and I've been your host, Jeff Hicks.
Been Kendo Slice. Just remember, guys, the difference between a girlfriend and a wife is about 45 pounds.
Oh, God, what a good way to put us out of our misery. So, if you're listening to us on Podbean, Stitcher, or iTunes, here's a song